Hello YouTubers and to my new subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. This is Win at Gears for Adventure, and I want to tell you a little bit about the channel, how we got started here, and then we'll go on with today's topic. I'm going to talk a little bit about cattleman guns, Pneuwa rifles. I have the T1 sitting in front of me. It's 25 caliber. Air tank capacity is 2,900 PSI. But first, just tell you how I got into this. I was searching on the internet one night looking for PCP rifles it's been a week or two ago, and saw a company called Pneuwa, and I didn't know much about them, so I started searching it, and I came across a video, a gentleman named Mike over at M&B Airgun Reviews. Go over and check Mike out at M&B Airgun Reviews. Mike and I don't know each other yet, but I'm hoping we get a chance to talk. Mike does a really bang-up job as far as telling you about the company and the air guns. He has a different air gun that he just got in that he reviewed, and it was a really fantastic review, so I hope you can jump on over there. Let him know that Win over at Gear for Adventure sent you over there if you don't mind, and hope you enjoy it. Anyway, Mike was reviewing the Cattleman Guns Company, and they're up in Pennsylvania, and because they're the makers of the gun, and I sat there and so I watched. And I got more and more interested. It looked like a pretty good product to begin with, and so I decided to call Victoria Wilson at the company. Mike had called her, so I decided I'll call her myself and talk to her about this rifle. It looks like something that I might want to add to my collection. Not only that, but perhaps get involved with the business there. As of right now, I am not being paid to do this. I paid for this rifle and all the equipment. But this is just a review on the rifle itself. So that's a little story about how I got into it. I have already shot this rifle several times. The accuracy is pretty good. I have not taken it to the range yet, and so I've not had a chance to actually put it on the target, but I can tell you this. After I sighted it in, I took it in the backyard, threw an apple out at 20 yards, and had no problem giving the apple a hard time. Matter of fact, several of the pellets went right through the apple from one side to the other clean, and I'm talking about from the bulk of the apple. I had several side shots, but several of them just peeled right through that apple. So it's got a lot of power. I don't know how much yet, but we're going to work on that later today. The rain's clearing up, and I'm going to take it to the range in a little while, and we're going to check the velocities. We're also going to check the decibels of the rifle and the accuracy of it. I've been very pleased with it so far. I was very pleased when I opened it up. I think it's going to be a really good shooter. We got 3 different pellets we're going to check. You know, pellets are a little limited like ammo right now, and so I've got 3 different pellets, a couple of H&Ns, a couple of JSBs. I'm going to finish sighting it in with the middleweight pellet, and then we'll see what kind of results we get on the range. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you will, and tell your friends about us. But thank you very much for checking the channel out. We're going to go ahead right now and pause. I'm going to do a recharge of this rifle for you, but I'm going to pause while I set everything up. Okay, we're ready to go ahead and charge the Pneuwa T1, and so I'm using a Benjamin Traveler air compressor. The air compressor goes up to 3,000 PSI before it redlines, so I naturally don't want to go past there. The rifle capacity then again is 2,900 PSI, so we're going to stop short of 100 PSI of that. Going to go ahead and hook my airline and my filter up here, and then I'm going to open up my bleed off valve, make sure I don't have any air in there, which I knew I wouldn't, but just as a precaution. Then I'm going to come up here and hook up to the rifle, and let me turn the power on in the back here. This is going to get a little noisy, and this unit does shake a little bit, vibrate a little bit, so I'm going to have to kind of hold it down. Just to mention, I've already fired 3 magazines through this. It's 9 rounds per magazine, so that's 27 rounds. And I went from 200 bars down to about 150, 160 bars. So that's not too bad. They say that this will fire in the neighborhood of 100 to 130 shots before you have to refill the tank. I don't like to go down below about 1,500. We'll work on that later today at the range and see how long it takes us to get to 1,500. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and top it off so it'll be ready to go when I'm at the range. And also, before I get started there, our producer, my wife, is reminding me here. One thing I wanted to say is, whenever you buy one of Cattleman Guns products as far as their guns go, Cattleman Guns donates 10% to the Wounded Warriors Fund. which is a great thing to help our veterans. And in return, what they do is they send you this really neat set of dog tags that I'd have them on, but my head's a little big for this chain. I got to get a bigger chain. On the front, on one of them, you have the Cattleman Guns. I'll hold this over here, hopefully you can see it. You have the Cattleman Guns logo. And then on the other one over here, it says, "Thank you for supporting U.S. troops." So that's a nice little token, you know, help you remember that whenever you purchase one of these things, 10% is going to help our veterans and our wounded warriors. So I think that's a really great thing there. So let's go ahead and charge up the T1 here. And it's going to be a little noisy, but I want you to watch, and then we'll disconnect everything and bleed her off and get her ready to go to the range here. Might mention while we're running our compressor over here, we don't want the amperage to go past 30. I found this one generally runs between 24 and 26. And I'm going to step away from the rifle a little bit while I'm charging it. I want to get up and get you a cup of coffee. We got another minute or two, or maybe take a trip down the hall. We're all nice and full now. We're ready to go to the range. We're going to go ahead and bleed her off to begin with. Bleed her off very slowly. The thing I like about this compressor, it fills it, but it fills it slowly, so you don't have to worry about it filling it too fast. We'll go ahead and disconnect everything. That was a flashlight falling in the background. Sorry about that blunder. Talk about bloopers. Anyway, that's all it takes to refill it. We're at 150 psi now. Excuse me, 200 bars. I'm sorry. I'm used to, here in the States, I'm used to PSIs. I've got to get used to this bars thing. But we're all filled up, like I said, filled up now. We're ready to go to the range. We're going to see how it does later on today. Going over to Cattleman Guns. And look at their products. They've revamped their catalog. They got some really neat rifles over there. They also sell other things other than air guns, I'll say that much. And I believe you'll be impressed. They've also, as I understand, got some new models coming out. I'll bring up more about that later. I want to talk to Victoria just to confirm a few things and details. Don't want to give you any details that are not right. Under $1,000, actually, this was everything I got. I got extra magazines and a few other extra things, okay? I spent about $625, so I don't think that's bad at all. This is a really nice rifle. It's I'll tell you, here in the neighborhood it's kind of quiet. At 10 feet from the muzzle, we did go out in the backyard yesterday and we got 78 decibels. Up toward the road, a little away from the house, we got like 50 decibels. Around the other side of the house, we got like 64. So I don't think that's too bad. It makes it neighborhood friendly as long as your neighbors are amenable to you having your air rifle out back. And just want to mention also, this is an air rifle. It uses air to shoot the pellets. Nothing as far as, there are no expanding gases involved in or any kind of combustion involved in the use of this air rifle. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that helped you out a little bit. If you got any questions, stick them in the questions below and your comments, and I'll get back to you. Meanwhile, we'll see you at the range.